Matt in the car, martial arts training in the car. I think it's day 7. So today's topic, combat versus sport. And why I thought today this would be a good one, because I was working on a concept, arm lock concept called Urigatami from Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. But it's also just a very popular grip, or very strong grip. So I worked on that on Monday night, and we're working on it again tomorrow night. But it's a very strong grip, very powerful grip. And we're using it as first a breaking concept, and why it worked as a break, and then how come it didn't work as a submission, but how to use the idea of the break to create opportunities for submissions, if that makes sense. So let me explain. When I think about Japanese Jiu-Jitsu or combated Jiu-Jitsu, it sounds weird, but I think violence. I think that you're going for the kill, you're going for the destruction as quick as possible. Now, it also could mean a method of control when you start getting like the Aiki concepts. I can bring that up in a second, because that's a good thought. But the initial thing, when I think about, like, all the arm locks are doing, the wrist controls, well, the wrist controls the Aiki, but like the things we're doing they're not meant to be nice. They're not meant to be a submission to tap. It's meant to kill, because we're tracing this back to samurai times, when it's battlefield arts. Thank God we don't have to live in a society like that now, where you're going to war. Well, I shouldn't say that. We're God, definitely not going to talk about that shit. Let's put it that way. But it's different times, and you know what I'm trying to talk about. So the concept of going for a break or a quick kill compared to a tap, because I think obviously the biggest thing that separates sport from combat. And let's use that Urigatami as a concept. So Urigatami, it's an underhook, shoulder lock control. You'll see on the channel, if you look at, I think, one of the straight arm lock series, it's in there. A lot of it's in there. And you can use it a lot of different ways, but it's really, what I like about Urigatami is it teaches you how to connect to the elbow, your forearm to the elbow joint, almost where that funny bone meets. And if you hit it right, you can just use this tremendous amount of control. It's also one of my top submissions on the ground, because obviously with submission you are going for the break, but when I'm on top side or top mount, if I get a good Urigatami or underhook grip with the shoulder control, it makes a really, really strong finish. So and also a great sweeping series too, from butterfly guard, which we worked on as well. But going back to the initial setup we did on Monday, is that we pummeled through, got to this frame on the inside, and then quickly just kind of bounce the elbow to get the feeling of like attacking that elbow joint, and to get a little reaction from your opponent, from your partner. And that's where that break comes in. We're controlling it, but in training, but when you're doing it for reality, that thing is meant to break someone. But if you go slow on that, you will not submit your buddy. You won't submit your partner, because he's able to keep up and bring himself to the ground and essentially save himself. But that's when it can be used in sport to start chaining for like a front headlock, or we call a head push takedown, or basically getting his head lower by attacking that elbow joint. You're bringing that head down low. You're getting his body offline. It's creating these cool opportunities. So when I'm playing with the integration of Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or sport Jiu-Jitsu versus combat Jiu-Jitsu, I think about like what's the initial goal? Like, okay, I'm using this thing as a breaking thing, and we should teach that and understand that, but we're really not breaking our students in class. Oh wait, I got a great story for you. Now, I love Shion Russ, Saint Hilaire to death. He's one of the best mentors of my life. He's the guy, Kobukai Jiu-Jitsu, who gave me my black belt there, and Shion and I are, I have deep respect for that man. But what I loved about Shion, we trained with Shion Russ at the old Kobukai dojo. We trained in a shed he built in his backyard, and he moved the shed from one, because it's such a special place. I mean, it was the dojo. He moved it from the Hunbo. They moved it from one place to another town, or one town to another town, and it was torture. You could fit about 10 to 12 people in there tops, and but Kobukai was small, and it was meant to be just hard, rough training. And I should go into some stories about Kobukai someday. Definitely have to do that. But we were training a gun defense. It was a rear gun defense, a gun threat to your back, and you basically spin in, come in with your underhook control knee, and then you connect to Urigatami. And Shion's a fucking expert, and he's violent. That's probably why I get a bit of my. We're both red-haired, we're both pale as fuck. We got some sort of weird, I don't know what type of blood coming at us, and Viking blood or something, where we got a little extra spice. And yeah, man, he snapped my elbow on that one. Oh, I got pissed up. I felt really bad after because it was shocking. Yeah, my elbow fucking snapped. I think it was like 3 months out. Yeah, that was a fun one. But yeah, but it's my point being is when you go get a little too excited on some of these breaking things, it ends badly. Now, if you controlled it, obviously I would have broken it, but we might not have gotten to the feel of it, and that's what we're trying to flirt with. We're flirting the line of like where are we actually to do damage and not, and he's so precise, and so that, and we were like flowing, we were going with it. That's what I love about Cobra Kai. Sometimes it got very real. Like it was just like you had this energy in that room, that dojo, that and it was quiet before we started, all huddling around the heater, and once it got going, it was just fucking real, and it was good, hardcore combat, and excuse me, no bullshit. It was just a real experience. So, and we did compete in sport too, but the combative aspect was always what we were after, and I think that just fit my blood, just fit my energy, and so. But I always, in my mind when I'm playing sport, play combat first. But when you're a great way to, like I said earlier, to integrate and play with those themes of combat and sport is what way to use the things that are considered combative in a playful way, and they can still be successful to create opportunities. And a great one is that arm lock, that Urigatame. I know I got a little lost in thought there, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. That powerful concepts in the Japanese jiu-jitsu system, and I think they can be used more in sport. You just got to hunt for them. Oh, now I know I want to talk about Aiki. So it's funny. I was actually talking to a guy today, John from Arizona. This dude, John, if you listen, great talking to you, man. This dude is a 57-year-old guy out in Arizona, BJJ, blue belt. He does some other stuff as well. He's just looking for combatives, necessarily doesn't want to go back to pure BJJ because not looking for sports stuff. He also got his ribs injured, and this motherfucker's a bull rider. A bull rider, 57 years old. This guy's crazy. I mean, I imagine trying to take that guy down. How crazy his hip strength must be. Man, like there's no way you're tripping that guy. Yeah, you got to get to his back. All right, just another thought. But yeah, we were talking about some of the Japanese jiu-jitsu concepts, especially a little bit of the Aiki concepts, like the wrist locks and all that things, which again, I sometimes call them arresting and controlling, but if you add speed to them, force them, they quickly become breaks, right? So like the thing like a Cody, my point we're making is we've probably used, it's a sketchy area of transferring of highways, and I'm just jammed between two trucks. Just don't want to make any mistakes. There we go. So, Aiki, oddly enough, when I used to train it back in the day, I hated it. I thought it was worthless. Not worthless, but it wasn't what I was originally after, right? But later on, and especially when I had to deal with bullshit from people you really didn't want to hurt, Aiki became the best tool. It was so simple to control people with one grip because normies can't fight. They can't fight for shit. No, I love all you normal people out there. I thought that's such an asshole thing to say, but I'm serious. If you have no combat skills and no bullshit, I get a hold of you. I'm sorry, you are pudding to me. It's just any excuse me, any top level grappler can understand that sentiment. If you go with people who've never grappled before against an expert grappler or someone who knows their shit, and they go against someone who does know their shit, it's a big eye-opening experience. So, but Aiki then becomes very usable. You could easily manipulate someone with some simple wrist controls. I started saying earlier the idea of Kodi-gyashi. I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry, Kodi-gyashi. Kodi-gaishi. I think that's it. Kodi-gaishi. And you Japanese jiu-jitsu guys out there, help me out. My pronunciation sucks. It's always been my downfall. But that great control, man, I'm telling you, it's so simple. Just manipulate some a little bit. I almost think like you ever watch the arm wrestlers, how it's all about the wrist, and how they have to like, get the hand. If I can start folding that wrist in, it just makes it like easy. So simple, so simple. Bring someone down. And the old, we call it handshake sankajo in Kobukai, where it's a simple little like handshake, but you like pop it. You have to do a little like almost like a duck under, and connect it to yourself, and add a little rotation. I'll tell you what, I gotta use that twice, both against my students when they've had too much to drink, because for some reason, this is way back. It was like 10 years ago. I've always been extremely close to my community, my students, and of course we have fun together, and we call our holiday bashes. We always find ways to celebrate, right? And the two of them have history of gotten a little too spicy with me when they drink. They used to like to come after me, and yeah, I have some interesting stories about that. I thought I killed a guy once. I shouldn't say that. No, probably not. He's alive. He's still good. Basil, I miss you, buddy. But guys, Rains, please, if you're out there, Rain. Guys, that's it. I think I'm gonna call quits right there on this episode. Big talking points and big takeaways from me is combat and sport are probably more closely related than we think, and you shouldn't only, and that goes for almost over martial arts overall. Just because you look at a traditional martial art and think that's bullshit, that doesn't work, or you look at a sport technique and somehow think that's not real martial arts, it's all fucking martial arts, right? Boxing is martial arts, wrestling is martial arts, it's all combat arts. So, you just got, it's how you train it and how you use it is to determine if it's good or not, and are there things that are better served for combat than sport? Yeah, I mean, if you're doing a urigatami for a break, well, that's better served for combat than sport. Doesn't mean you can't use it or use the principles of combat as sport. I don't think you guys realize this, but do you know that typically there's either Bruce or Vito or both of them behind me right now? Yeah, they're hanging out in the back seat. It's weird. They got like a coffee truck coming in here. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I got both the boys. I don't know if you can see them back there. Say hi, guys. You see everybody? Maybe? Okay. All right. Pulling at the gym. I don't know what the fuck is going on.